This
we
conference
have
will now be recorded.
Mm-hmm.
we have not met before. So just want to know like what is your experience and how in SAP?
Yeah, sure. So in SAP, basically, I'm quite new, but now I'm looking forward to learn different modules in SAP and targeting to be solution architect eventually. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And so far, my experience is like I have been solution architect in digital technologies with non-SAP systems. I used SAP as a solution building blocks, but not extensively. I don't know the insight about SAP. Yeah? No. So now I want to focus on SAP modules.
SAP modules means
Uh,
overall. So in
yeah,
digital world, you are doing a solution architect. So in digital world, what is the business? How you are handling the business?
it's basically I'm giving the solutions like the organization I'm working on. So they want to, for example, there are digital channels are there or like portals are there, and we
Mm-hmm.
need to connect to the SAP ERP systems, and sometimes we need to connect with the different data sources. So through APIs and API gateways, so I need to connect to them. So that sort of solutioning I was building. You know.
So you are technical.
Yes, I used to be a developer earlier, and yeah, I'm technical basically.
Okay, so you are a technical. So you're a technical solution architect who is designing a solution of integrating and all. Is my
Yeah,
understanding correct?
yeah.
So
Other,
you.
yeah, I used to be mainframe architect as well. I worked on different technologies. I have, 18 years of experience. So,
Okay, good. And in SAP, do you know any what is business? What is the business process?
yes,
How?
yes, yes. The basic I know already because I'm undergoing with another training as well through Expertsoft itself. So I know now the basic and even the SPRO configuration, those sort of things, or screens and like BP screens, how to
Okay,
create PO, how to do the inbound outbound deliveries. So that kind of I'm now comfortable.
okay, good. So that means you know the business process of like suppose if someone asks you how to create a material, then how you go and create a material, right?
Yeah, yeah, that one I can do. But my main focus or my expectation would be that you start with the finance thing, not material or business partner. So I'm more interested into the financial part. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and
So
how we can do the MDG or all those data modeling, AI modeling, or process modeling around it.
for finance, right?
Yeah, yeah, for finance.
Okay, okay, good. So that's why actually, if we know what your understanding is and what you're looking for, then we can go in that path. That is good. Okay. Thanks for giving your insight. So I'll just give you my insight. Like I have like almost 15 years of experience
Mhm,
in SAP, and in SAP I have done like almost 6 to 7 end-to-end implementation
mhm,
from ECC to S4 HANA, and in also in S4 HANA 2023.
mhm,
Okay. And in SAP MDG, I'm working for last 10, 12 years. And in this also, I have done three end-to-end implementation.
mhm,
So I have worked on all this data model, I would say MDGM, MDGBP, MDG Finance.
mhm,
Yeah, okay, fine. So that was my quick insight on my side.
mhm.
Anything you want to like more, want to know more about me or
No, that's okay. That's okay. I think.
okay.
Thanks for the introduction. Yeah.
Okay, so Now I'll just give you. So, do you know what is MDG means?
Yes, I know, and I know a lot about MDG basically. So, what my expectation would be like, we do a quick walkthrough about, little bit overview is sufficient for me, and
Hmm.
we do a walkthrough with the real time case studies, like the experience or real time scenarios that you have seen in your real time projects. So I
Hmm.
would like we discuss about those more and more, and how to handle those, and how to create the, for example, process model around those. So, and then what the finance screen looks like, how the basic the operationality of finance happens, and which are the key transactions. So that way kind of
Sure, sure. That is the definitely
yeah.
because I'll not be covering a theoretical something.
So
I'll be covering more
answering
practical.
your like first question, yes, I know about MDG. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'll explain. I'll let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
So, as you said, you know about MDG.
Mhm.
So, can you tell me what is a full form in MDG?
Yeah, it's master data governance,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
yeah, and we use it to control the master data which are available in any business system or business processes, or in any organization ecosystem, so that SAP and non-SAP modules can use that master single source of truth or master data in their day-to-day operations, and we maintain this MDM master data as a golden source copy, single source of truth, whatever we want to say, and we want to manage it in a way like we want to set up a governance over it, like uh, what data should be copied and how it should be copied, when it should be approved, or should it be approved or not approved, which is mandatory, which is not mandatory, replication, transfer, those kind of things.
good, good, great. Okay, thanks. At least so now I'll explain you on this. So master data governance, that you what you correctly said, that we are governing the master data.
Mhm.
So governing in the sense we are doing the process so that whichever the master data goes in the system, it's in the pure form of data. Not any junk data is getting stored in the database. So in order to do this, we are doing the governance for which master data. So the master data which MDG is governing is of material, BP, that comes your customer or supplier, and another one is finance. There was one more that is EAM, that is called Enterprise Asset Management. Asset Management. The another one is RFM, Retail Fashion Management. Okay. So these are the master data. When there's the first term master data. So these are the master data which MDG is governing as of now. Okay. There is no other master data with MDG is governing. So the standard solution which MDG is governing is of MDG materials, MDG BP, MDG finance, enterprise asset management, and retail fashion management. So okay. So these are the master data. In order to govern this, what has happened? How does MDG will govern this data? So in order to govern this, MDG has introduced a solution that that solution is called, they have introduced something called staging area and active area. Because why they have introduced this staging area or active area solution? Because what happens when you are doing some data, when you process your creation process or any process, any business process are in progress. Okay, because you it's in process only and you don't want the junk data. Because of that, we are doing the governance, right? Because of the you don't want the junk data to be saved in your database, and for that only you are doing a governance. So at the time of governance, during time of governance, which are in progress, you don't want your data to be available at the main place where the business will be available the business will be using the data. So you need a temporary place where your data gets stored for the time the data or the process is in progress. Okay, all the whenever the business process is in progress, you want your data to be stored at one place, at that place, and then once the process is completed, you want the main data to be flowed to the to the actual place where it should be, so the business can start using the data. So that's why this process, when your business process are in progress, that time the place where it stores the data is called as a staging data. Okay, now the another one is active data. That means as soon as a process is completed, the place where data gets stored, that place is called as the active data. Okay, so that's why they have introduced these two concepts. One is called as a staging data concept, and another one is the active data concept. Any question here?
No, it's okay.
You're clear, right? Now, what happens in this process also, in order to save the data also in the staging data, you have two concepts. In order just to store the data in the staging data, you have two concepts. And the concept are, one is called as a reuse mode and another one is called as the flags mode. Okay, this is staging data concept for a temporary data. Now, when we say reuse mode, so when you say reuse mode, the data stored in staging area gets refreshed. Okay, gets refreshed once process is completed. When it is in reuse mode, whichever data had stored in your staging data in the staging table, that will get refreshed if it's in a reuse mode. Whereas flags mode, the data the data does not get refreshed even once even processes even after process is completed. even after process is completed. Okay, so this is the flex mode, and this is the concept of staging data. Clear? Any
Yeah.
question till?
No, 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 no question.
Okay. Now, how we understand which, so in order to make it clear, here we have a data model. Okay, so which data model are built under reuse mode and which data model are built under flex mode. So all data model like MMBP are built on the reuse mode, whereas finance data are built on flex mode, that is called 0G. 0G is the finance data model. So we'll see in detail what does data model means, what the process modeling means, what is replication and so on. So as of now, just understand here that we have one data model, and that is OG data model, which is built with using the flex mode. Okay, I hope so. Now you are clear on what are the data model, which data model are built on reuse mode, and which data model are built on a flex mode.
Yeah.
Clear? Okay. So now second things. Now next thing is, suppose your company has bought MDG. So this is the conceptual things, how MDG, how is MDG and all. So now suppose if someone asks you, like, I have the MDG product and I want to install MDG in my company. So can you suggest me how to install MDG in my organization? Okay, or what are the two modes or two ways how to implement MDG? So the two ways in which you can implement MDG are, they are co-deployment, co-deployed, or hub deployed, hub deployment. Okay, co-deployment or hub deployment, or this is some may call you as on top of ERP. They call some may call as on top of ERP, but it's a co-deployment option and it's a hub deployment. We have hub deployment options. Now, what is a difference? How we say, well, how we'll say that, okay, this is a difference between the co-deployment and the hub deployment.
Right.
So yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand about it. Like, for example, there is a system is there, and on that same system, ECC system, the MDG is deployed. Then it's a co-deployment. Or if it is installed on a separate server or separate system, and then connected with the different ECC modules, then it's a hub deployment.
Correct. Okay. So when it is a co-deployment, you correctly said, the now coming to this budget issue, like the finance. So when it is a co-deployment option, your expenditure, your cost here, this is no expense, no expense on server side. Expense on server. Okay, so first difference is on this one, when you are in a core deployment option, you are dependent, where you are here you are independent. Okay, So here, downtime is more, whereas here downtime is less. Replication is not required, whereas here replication is required. Okay, so these are some of the points. When we go by understanding this, we can say to the client that what which option to be chosen in order to go for the core deployment or the hub deployment. So here also filtration of data cannot be done, whereas filtration of data is possible. Coming to one point by point, now you know, as you are implementing the core deployment or hub deployment. So when you are implementing core deployment, means you are implementing MDG on the same server. That means you are not buying any extra additional server. So there is no additional cost for the server. Only the licensing cost of the product will be incurred. Okay, but here licensing cost also will be incurred. The expense of the server also will be required. So that's why this becomes expensive from the server, from the client point of view. Now, when I say dependent, suppose, as you know, the product MDG may come for an upgrade, whereas sometimes due to some issues, the other product like MM, BP, or like customer, supplier, finance, any of this data, because it's all in the same server. So any master data they go for an upgrade. So if they are going for an upgrade, so during that time your system is also not available. You all for MDG also the system is not available, because the system is shared between a different product. Whereas in this case you are independent. If you want to go for an upgrade, you don't have to go get an approval from any of the other department. Suddenly you can take your decision of your own, that is as is MDG product, so that we are going for an upgrade, so we can directly go for an upgrade. So that's why we become as an independent. Now here, as we said, downtime, as this in days, all the system is linked to one another. So that's why if any issue has happened by any other system or any other product like MMBP, finance, any other item, that you also have to go for a downtime, because it's the same system, so MDG also will be down. But unless in this system, unless and until your MDG is not impacted, you are not going for a downtime. And if we go for a downtime, like for suppose upgrade, if I want to do an upgrade, as I'm independent, I directly can take a decision and I can do an upgrade of my own. So that's why my down has a my downtime becomes less in this case. Here, replication is not required. Why? Because it's in the same server. That's why there is no need for replication to save the data or to send the data in a different system. So that's why we are saying replication is not required for core deployment. Whereas in hub deployment, as you have a completely different server, so in order to get your data to for the business, you have to send the data. So replication becomes as a mandatory functionality to be implemented when you're in a hub deployment. Here I said filtration of data not possible. Why? Because is it the same system? It's in what is it? The data what you are creating is in the same system. So whether you need or not, your data is going to be saved in your system only. But in this case, suppose you have three system. You have the S4 system, you have some different system, ECC system. You want some data to only flow for is only flow to the S4 system, some data to flow only in ECC system, some data to flow in other system. So during that time, as we have some filter the replication is going on. So replication is enabled, so the data can be sent with the filter criteria also to the other system. That's why filtration is possible when you are in a hub data. Any question till here?
So it's clear.
It's clear, right? Okay. So I think this I have explained you. So hub deployment, core deployment, the master data, and all. Now, so now coming to the product. So in MDG, MDG is built up by three ways. One is MDG application, MDG UI, and MDG foundation. So MDG is overall MDG is been used or been considered in the three ways. One is MDG application, MDG UI, and MDG foundation. So whenever you are installing any product or any solution understanding for the client, we have to explain in this way. So foundation is a general, it's a generic functionality where it's a common functionality shared across all the MDG module. Okay, not only MDG BPM. In the future also, if any MDG is coming, MDG foundation is not going to change. MDG foundation will remain the same for all the data model. Now, what happens here? We have MDG application. So when we say MDG application, so MDG application here the difference comes that if you client has bought product, you have to install If the client has brought BP product, then you have to install BP. If the if the client has bought finance, then you have to install finance. Okay, so that's why we say application. So application means whichever the data model or whichever object your client has bought, that application to be enabled or activated in the system, whether it's BP or 0G. Okay, now the UI comes, the MDG UI is the front end. Okay, the front end for end user to fill the data. So this is the end front end of MDG for end user. Okay, for end user to fill the data. Now, how MDG user can use the front end? They can access the front end. So in order to access the front end, MDG have the functionality called NWBC, that is NetWeaver Business Client. Okay, so we have like this NetWeaver Business Client for NWBC, and the latest what we have is Fury application. You might have heard about in SAP Word. Now the Fury term has become more, what do you say, fancy, or the people have started using the Fury product. So Fury, so we have, in order to access the front end, we have two options: either to use NWBC, either to use Fury. So NWBC is a free product. When you buy MDG, MDG gives you the free product of what is it, a free access to NWBC. Whereas in order to get Fury, you have to buy additional license for Fury. Licensing cost includes when you are using a Fury product. And when you have something Fury, then you need a Fury consultant also to take care of the Fury things. So that's why the cost again increases. This server also increases, the product also increases, the licensing cost also of Fury increases, plus the additional cost for the source is also required when you are using the Fury. Okay, so these are the front end. These are the two front end which user are going to use. So as I told you, for this you directly, this is a T code. Okay, this is a NWBC is nothing but a T code. So I hope you understand what is T code. It's a transition code. Okay, to
Yes.
open any any UI, any front end in the screen, you have to use this T code, or anything in the MD SAP world. To do any activity, you should know the T code what you are going to do.
Yes.
And okay, and for Fury, we have this T code that is called slash UI2 slash FLP. Okay, so this is the T code that we use for Fury. So for the front end, now I hope till here it makes sense, no confusion on till here. If I'm going fast, you let me know. Or
No, no, it's okay. You can move a little bit more faster. It's okay. I'm getting it completely.
okay, no, that's why you let me know if I'm going fast. Then
Okay, okay. This fine.
it's fine, right? Okay. So this Fury and so Fury, this is a T code. Now, in order, so now you have this application, you have this MDG foundations, and you have this MDG UI. So in order to activate your product, so you have to activate all these three. When you buy the system, you have to activate all these three. So how to activate these three? So in order to activate MDG underscore application or MDG underscore foundation, so in order to activate this two, you go to T code SFW5. Okay, so you have to activate here, and this is SW5 is nothing but is a function activation of function, business function. Okay, this is a nothing but the activation of business function. So SFW5, and in order to activate MDG underscore UI, you have to SICF with your all the UI, whatever the UI you're using, anything related to the UI, you have to go in this T code SICF to enable or to activate this. So now we'll see how to activate this one. So we'll go to your SFW5. I written same, right? SWF, SFW5. Okay, this is the correct code SFW5. So now you will see here all these features. So what you can do, you can directly go to this enterprise business function. Okay, and type here, suppose type here MDG. So now you see you see the first thing, that is foundations. Okay, so the foundation, what you have to do, you have to select this and say activate changes. Okay, and if it is activated, if it is inactivated, so you'll see here green signal, here the green sign. Suppose if I'll say activate changes, so as this is already activated, so it will not again get activated, but in your system when you are new, you have to say activate services. So what you can do when you're activating this foundations, you just don't activate only the latest one. Okay, suppose you think, oh, I have only 1402 is the latest one, so I'll activate this. No, you will have to activate everything from the start to end, because some feature what was developed in the starting will not be have been available in the latest what is the foundations. So in order to cover all the releases, all the product features, you will always have to activate from 0 to the last number. Okay, every time when you're activating, you have to activate from 0 to the last number. So this feature, as now you will be working as a solution architect or any as an architect. So this the task becomes mandatory for you to identify for them and give to the basis team if you do not have the access. So basis team are the one who is going to activate these functions. Clear? So this comes the foundation. Now coming application also same. You see these applications here, you will see if you go here, see this is foundation and this is application mdg underscore application. So mdg application, this is for so if your client has bought product, so you will activate this. If your client has bought finance, you will activate for the finance, finance. If the client has bought all the three, you will activate all the three. Now, and this is for the supplier. If your client has bought supplier, you'll have to activate the supplier. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, in order to activate the services, so you can go here SICF. Okay, in SICF, you'll have to activate the services. If you know the service name, like as I told you, suppose for your client they have not activated NWBC. So what you can do, you can give here the name NWBC and say execute. Okay, then you'll see here like this is a tree, and you can right click here and you will say activate. So as of now it's activated, that's why I cannot activate. So here it's saying deactivate service because it's already activate. So if it is not, suppose like this, I'll show you. Suppose if it is not activated, you'll have like this, you'll have like this. Okay, say activate services, and if you click here activate, say yes, all this you want to say yes, activate it. So now you see this is enabled. Okay, so in this way we activate. Now same thing, once this is activated, suppose you don't know this, I know the name but I don't know the name, then what to do? So you have to follow this path. So directly click on execute. You have to go to default host. You go to SAP and go to BC. Okay, SAP default host, SAP BC, and in BC you'll have to go to WebDen Pro. So WebDen Pro, during our program, means during our training, will cover what is WebDen Pro, what is in all. So here you'll go for WebDen Pro, and in WebDen Pro you'll go for SAP namespace SAP, and here all the UI, whatever is associated with MDG, you'll have to activate. See, so here MDG. See, So these are all the MDG product. Okay, so you can go here. Suppose this one you activate for material. So what you'll do, right click and you activate this material. Similarly, you'll be having for all MDG. You see, this is for finance. Okay, if you want to activate for finance, you say activate and then it will work. So similarly, whenever you don't know the name, so you have to follow this path, and accordingly you can come and you can activate the product for the UI. Okay, so this was an overview on how MDG, what is MDG, what are different new things in MDG, and what are the activities to be done when you are buying when you have this MDG product. Okay, now in the training, so the very first T code what we'll be seeing is MDG IMG. This is a T code what we'll be seeing every day. So what are we going to cover? We are going to cover here. So in a class C, we are going to cover the central governance. When you go for central governance, you will see everything here from general settings. In general settings, we'll be starting from the, so we'll be covering everything from data modeling, UI modeling, quality, process modeling, data transfer. So this last topic will be data transfer. Okay, in this. So we'll start with process modeling. In this process modeling, we'll see how you can create the change request, how the change request works, how, what to say, how the change request, how you are going to configure. So in this, I'll just show you. So we'll start with process modeling. I hope you have the syllabus, right? What I had given you. They have given you the syllabus or
Yes.
no? You
Yeah.
have, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with a process modeling. In process modeling, we'll be seeing how to create change requests. Okay, how to create change requests and how to assign workflow, workflow activation. Okay, step step configuration. So this is a very big topic. So process modeling will be a very big topic among all the topics. Process modeling will be a very big topic. Okay. So in this, we'll see how to create a CR, how to assign a workflow, workflow activation, step configuration, BRF plus configuration. Okay, uh, and also action configuration, step type configuration. So step and step type is different. Okay, step type configuration. This all things we are going to see in this process modeling. And also one more thing is define the governance scope. Define the governance scope. So all these things we are going to cover in the process modeling. So
But like, I understand, like we will start working on the workflow and the MDG, and we can cover this syllabus as well. The thing is, since I have no clue about finance screens, like different transaction, how like GL accounts are created, and how what is the next step. So would you be showing me like how to create a GL account, how to create a profit center, and those things as well?
yeah, we are going to cover now. In the, that's why, as we say, governance process. So
Mhm.
once we design the business process, By
Okay.
using this business process, we are going to create a GL account.
Okay. Okay. That is okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's why we are going to design this business process. So creating the CR, in this we will be assigning the agent also, the workflow. We are going to configure the workflow also. By
Mhm.
using the workflow, the process will be getting completed. So see,
Mhm.
in MDG, the score, how it flows. First is the requester, right? Requester means who is going to initiate the workflow, initiate the process. Okay.
Mhm.
Now requester, who is requester, what will do, requester will fill all details, all the details. Suppose they are going for GL account. Okay. So requester will fill all the details of GL account. Then once he fills the details, what he will do, he will submit the workflow, or submit the form. Okay, he will have one form and that form will get submitted. Once that form is submitted, then what will happen, the workflow will look for the next level of approver, next level of approver. Okay. And once next level of approver approves the workflow, approves approves the form. Okay. Then means the process is complete. Once the process approves means process is complete. Now the GL account, the GL account got created. The GL account got created. Once the GL account got created, that means now GL, suppose 123 got created. That means now this GL business can use this GL account 1234 1234. So that's why the starting process is to be this, and this all process will be done. Then only this process, that the output of doing all this will be the, this will be the your output. You will be able
Okay.
to
So
configure the process.
okay. So in real time scenario, in real time projects,
Hmm.
this is the flow. Like there would be request, there will be a change, and the form will be need to be filled in, then submitted, then approval happens, then the MDG data staging data goes to staging and then goes to activity, right?
Correct.
Okay, this is the process. Okay,
Okay. So, but yeah, we'll start with this. But before that, I'll show you this. I missed one. That is a standard report provided by SAP for us. Okay, standard report provided by SAP. Now, once you go to NWBC software slash NWBC, so you have like this. So we will look for finance one only. So we'll see for account. So suppose this is one menu. I'll just click over here like this. You'll get this screen, and in this screen we are, what I told you, we are going to design, this is how it looks. But first of all, we'll see what are the standard report given by us by SAP. So when you go to this change request, and document, so here they have given us these three reports, that is my change request, display change request, and display change document. Now what does my change request will help you? My change request will help you whatever activity you have done in your project, like audit log. Sometimes they ask you, show me the audit log, or you might be knowing they will ask, they sometimes they come for audit and they ask you the log, all the audit log. So created by you or created by any other user, then this is the report that becomes very helpful to give you all the report or all your activity what you have created. And in this you have the range also. You can give the range, date range, from this date to that date, and you can get the report. Okay, here this will say this is something created by me. This is the created by me. This will also give you what you have, what is pending for you to approve to be processed by me. To be processed by me will give you what activity that is pending from your side to be complete. So that is to be processed by me. Third one is processed by me. Processed by me means whatever activity you have approved, so that also result they will give to you, this report will give you. So in this, if you want not to be shown single, you want to see everything at once of all the combination of these three, you can select all. So this result will give you everything, what activity independent, what activity of activity you have done of your own. So all the result will be given when you choose all. Okay, and these reports become very helpful because you want to check, you want to see anything, what activity you have done, whether it's activated or not, then that time this becomes helpful. The another one is display change request. So when you are working in a project and they say some, because when you're working in a project and the end user, they are doing some activity and they come up to you saying that, see, I have got this error, can you help me with this? So that time it does not becomes yours. You have not done any activity. It becomes the other person. You are going to analyze the thing what other person has done. So in that time you cannot use this report. You'll have to use this report. So in this report you can see all the reports, all the activity taken by any other person in the organization. So these are all the activities, like suppose who have done create, you can do the filter, get the report by passing this much different values, created on, reason, priority, edition, status, type of change request, everything. By passing this you'll be getting the result. Okay, so this becomes very helpful for you. Now third one is display change document. So you want to see the log, suppose who has done what changes to to the data. So this will be helpful, like suppose for finance, you want so for finance, for the particular account, who had done the changes, what changes was done at what time, you want to see all the report. Then you can go here and display change document, and you can see all the status of the particular attributes, who has done what activity on the particular time. Okay, so these three reports become very helpful when you are working in a project. Any question or anything you want to ask on this?
It's clear. Actually, I have worked on like support ticketing system in early days. I can understand like there I used to create a change and incident and yeah,
Oh, okay, so you are aware about this.
yeah.
Good, fine then. So here, I thought I missed that one this way. Now, I'll show you the screen how it looks. Okay, so you will be in your project also. Your starting point will be here only. But here you have one more screen. That screen will not be available for you in your, because based on the role automatically, you'll be having one link, and if you click that link, automatically they will bring you here. Okay, and then you will be seeing like this screen in your project, in any project, or in the real time. Okay, once you go there, then you will have like this search. So once you go here in GL account centrally, So you will be seeing like this screen, and I don't know whether we have any data or not at as of now. Okay, we have some data. So like suppose if I want to see here, so you see like this screen will be applicable for us, but in order to do this, like you see here, pending change request. So what will happen if I do here? You see, this screen comes. Okay, this screen comes, and this all the details with the workflow will come, and then we'll have to configure the workflow. So like this screen only will be applicable for us. We'll be using here, we'll be filling the details, we'll be filling the account group, account type, whatever the details we need, and then accordingly after filling all these details, we'll submitting the request, and then it will go for the next level of approver. So this is the main screen that you will be seeing throughout the training, for account every time. In the real time also you will be seeing the same screen, and in a project, in our training also you will be seeing the same screen, how it configures, how the workflow will be flowing. Similarly you will be seeing this screen. Okay, so the creation starts from here and ends with the workflow. This is just
Can we come to this screen like by entering a transaction code directly? Like if, for example, I want to create a GL
no,
account.
no,
Okay.
no.
So, but
You
since
have
there
to
is a
come like,
transaction, uh
you cannot come with a T code. You have to come like this only.
okay. So that means there are two ways to create a GL account. One is using transaction code directly, and one is
No,
through. Huh?
we'll be
Huh?
stopping that. As soon as the MDG comes into the picture, we
Uh-huh.
block that T code for the user to create a GL account.
Okay, okay, okay. Then this would be the once MDG is installed, so user have to come to this through MDG and then need to create through this change. Yeah?
Correct, correct.
Okay, okay. So okay, okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's why. Okay, so I think as of now you have any questions, or else what we'll do, we'll stop here for today, and tomorrow we'll see at the same time with the start fresh on the process modeling.
Okay, so how it will be paid? Like 1 hour per week, week
No, no, no.
weekend.
2 hours per means 2 hours minimum will be there for the weekend. Okay,
Uh-huh.
uh, like Saturday, Sunday,
Uh-huh.
2 2 hours. Is that fine?
2 2 hours or like 1 1 hour for Saturday Sunday.
2 2 hours.
2 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my request would be to you that
Hmm.
yeah, I would like to move quite a little bit faster on this MDG thing. So
Okay.
so yeah, we can you can pick up some speed, and if I feel like you are moving fast, then I would request you
Sure.
to
No
go
problem.
down. And the more thing which I want to focus is that you give me some real time scenarios as a homework or something, and I try to create it myself. And if there is an issue, we spend some time on fixing those issue or helping me or sorting those out with me and guiding me like how things should be done.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, sure. That will be, because we are not going to cover any theoretical. We are going to cover all practical solutions in
Mhm.
real time project only. And once we start, and at the end, you will be thinking like, I have done one project,
Mhm.
completely end to end implementation. Because in your project also,
Hmm.
Nothing new you are going to do. You are going to do the same thing
Hmm.
what I'm teaching you now.
Yeah, but I want to get the real
Feeling.
time kind of feeling.
Yeah, yeah, I
When I
understand.
go to one rollout, you can take like I should be going out with the confidence of I have rolled out two MDG projects.
Yeah, sure, sure. That is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then we can close it for today. And tomorrow, I think I expect like it could be like 2 hours or something, or whatever as you feel.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Tomorrow, because what will happen? In this, what happens? Like my son will be coming now from the. So Saturday, is it fine to have it by 8:30?
Yeah, 8:30 is okay with me. Yeah, but 8:30 to 10:30.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
8:30 to 10:30 Saturday, and
I'm flexible. Yeah, that's okay.
yeah, and Sunday we can have like a six. Even we can have at 6 also, 7 also, not an issue.
All right. All right.
ठीक है, that's why, because Saturday I have to go and take my son. That's why. Otherwise, Sunday, not a problem. We can have 2 hours, or how many hours is there? We can take it up.
Yeah, because thing is like I want to do more practice on Saturday itself, because Sunday and then next day is working day Monday. So
Correct.
yeah. I'm okay to be flexible on the time. Yeah, you can arrange that 8:30.
Okay, ठीक है.
Yeah, we can follow that.
Okay,
Yeah.
chalo then. We'll stop here for today, and we'll see you on Sunday tomorrow.
All right. All right. Thank you so
Okay.
much. And
Yeah. So, today we'll start with process modeling. Okay.
then what will be your advice? Like so far, I haven't got the system with this MDG configuration. So shall I practice or uh, what is your suggestion? What's the best way to learn MDG?
No, no, you'll get the system, no?
Oh yeah. Maybe like I will check. Maybe I think soon they will provide me.
Yeah, yeah, they will give you the system access so that you can practice. Okay.
Mhm.
Because without practice, nothing will happen. Even though you'll first thing it looks simple in the time of while looking, but when you do in the real time, it becomes very difficult. That, oh, what is this step? How to do? It becomes difficult. So that's why it's better. Whatever we are teaching, whatever I'm teaching you, you go through it and then practice once.
Yeah.
Minimum once is mandatory, but later on you can say if you want to go with 2 times or 3 times, just to be aware.
Sure.
Mm, what is the password? Arey, I don't know who has 1 minute. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, client 500, right? Okay, I was trying client 100. So for you also the same, okay? Same like me also, you'll be facing the same issue. So the client is 500. So go with client 500. Now, in this process modeling, the first thing what you learn in MDG, the first decode that you learn is MDG IMG. This is the first decode that you'll learn, okay? Now, in this MDG IMG, once you go to MDG IMG, you go with the classic mode, okay? This is the classic mode. In MDG, we have two solutions. We one is a cloud solution, so which we are not using because our system is on premises. Mostly all the client are using on premise, not cloud. Okay, so that's why we are going with the classic mode. In the classic mode, we'll be going for the central governance. Okay, first thing is the central governance. In this central governance, so understand the path MDG IMG general setting classic mode, central governance, and then once you go to general settings, here you will go for process modeling. Okay, so this is the part to remember: MDG IMG, classic mode, central governance, general setting, and then you go for the process modeling.
All right.
This is the path. Now, here the very first thing, what will happen? The client asks you for the governance scope. Governance scope. Okay, so what happens by default? By default, all entities, now we'll see what is entity and attribute, are governed. By default, all entity and attributes are governed. Only we have to do this option if you don't have any govern, if you need to divert any entities or attribute not to be governed. Now coming to this point, what is entity?
I think it's table and value.
Yes, yes, yes. So entity, it's just like a table. Okay. And attribute is just like a field. Okay. So inside the entity means a table, and inside the table, what are the fields? So that's why we say attributes. So now, so you can control the governance. Either you want to say, okay, I don't want to govern whole table. Okay, that also you can do. Or you say, I don't want to govern in this table some field, then that means some attribute. That also you can do. Okay, now coming to this, when you see here define governance scope, so when we go inside this, here as I told you yesterday, we have a data model concept. Okay, so data model is nothing but a single place where all the entities or attributes are maintained, because it's a global place where all the entity or all the attributes that will be used for respective data model will be maintained. Okay, so suppose now we'll go for finance. In OG data model, you have something called entity type. In this entity type, if someone says, I don't want to govern any of this entity, okay, like I don't want to govern, I don't want to govern, suppose company is there, okay, I don't want to govern company. So what I'll do, I'll say no to it. Okay. Here only two things is there. You have to either say yes or no. And it has a storage and access type and must be governed. Okay. So this one we cannot do. Suppose I think this is also in finance. All the entities are type one only. Uh,
I think we can try with FSIT text item. It looks like a text.
yeah, I think this one you see now, FSI
Hmm.
audit. Okay,
Hmm.
this we don't want to govern. Then we can say no to it, and we can say save to save. If you say save, it will get choose a valid function. Okay. Now, suppose this is one way, and another. Suppose if from this only, from the item, you don't want you want everything to be governed, but some attributes you don't want to be governed. Oh, not no attributes is there. And this actually finance is a bit different. I'll show you the another one because finance we have different type and we have entity only. Suppose for BP I'm saying. Now when we go here, now suppose this is a general details. Okay, customer general details. I want everything to be governed, whereas some attributes over here I don't want to be governed, like non-military use field is there. I want this field to be not to be governed, so I'll say no to it.
So means like when would be any change in this field at the front at the GUI side, then it need not to go through the change request.
Correct, correct.
Okay, that is the.
Yeah, so if you are whatever you are doing here, if you're saying governance means
Hmm.
the field will be available on the screen,
Hmm.
but you'll not be able to maintain through
Yes.
MDG
What?
because you are saying I don't want to maintain. Non-governance means what? I
Hmm.
don't want to maintain from MDG. I want to maintain from the other place. Like I want to directly maintain a data in our S4 system.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm saying no to it.
But what is the general practice? Like we govern all the attributes generally in real time scenario or limited only?
No, so in a real time scenario also we have like this only. So depends on your client to client
Okay.
because some client may not do all the thing, right?
Hmm.
So what they will do, they will hide. They will say that okay, I don't want to govern all the fields. So similarly, you have to come and do this approach.
But
So
what
it
sorry.
depends to client,
Hmm.
and they most. It's not that all the client will govern all the entities.
Hmm.
No.
But what the best practice we can suggest them as a consultant?
So see, the best practice is that uh, best practice is to govern the field. If you are maintaining some data in MDG, that means you have to govern. If you are going to maintain a data, then it is good to maintain from MDG so that it is going through all the quality check.
All right.
But now again, the question comes: the business,
Hmm.
whether
because it has to go for reference data. Some check is also has to be there, or who is the what to say, uh, whether the end user are comfortable to maintain the data in MDG or not. So all this qualities check you have to do, then only you can say. Otherwise we can say that no, everything is to be governed, but they will say no, 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 this is something the business will not agree to maintain in MDG. They want to be maintained directly in S4. So we have to do this approach. You will face the same question. How also we also had faced the same. So similarly, they will ask you also to do the same. Okay. So this is the way how to do the governance. Mhm. Okay. So now, so what do we have? The second point is addition type. Okay. So this is respective to finance. So addition. Uh, First of all, what is addition? Okay. In MDG, in S4 in MDG, because in S4 you have a validity date, and finance data are time dependent data. Do you agree on this? Or time dependent data? You understand what is time dependent data?
Uh, I would like to understand in context of SAP.
Okay. So time dependent data in the sense, like suppose we have, or in India also you have a financial year, right?
Mm-hmm.
In every financial year, your all it's like for material and BP, you don't have something that your material is will be in this financial year, not in next financial year. No, one material you have created, it will be available till your sales is going on, until your product is available in the market, your material will be available. But for finance, it's not like it's not like this. In finance, you may go with the approach saying that like some cost center, some profit center are there, which will be for a short duration, like travels. Company travel is there, right? So the employee goes for a travel, and we want to audit that one. So maybe for 3 months, for 6 months, because you have to do the auditing after every 3 months. You have to give the report, balance sheet. You have to do the balance sheet and all. So something will be of 3 months, something will be of 6 months, something will be of 9 months, something will be of 12 months, like this. So that's why, as it is something that is valid on the time or period, so that's why we call this finance data are time dependent data. Like you are working in one project, okay, so and that so you might have, you also know, like as the financial year ends, your project codes gets changed or it's get assigned to new cost center and new profit center, okay, in the back end. You might have heard also, or you have seen,
Yeah,
correct?
I got the concept.
Yeah. So that's why it's called as a time dependent data now. So in MDG, in order to handle this time dependent data, they have introduced the concept called addition. They have introduced the concept called addition,
Mm-hmm.
so that whenever a data is created, suppose I have created one profit center, suppose PCTR1, I have created one profit center. So the day when I'm creating, I may have the date, the start date as 01/01/2025, and end date will be 31st 12 49. Correct? Because you might have seen when you join the organization, even your start date becomes the date when you are joining, and your end date is the date till the time you have not resigned the organization. Your end date is infinite. Correct? So similarly, your profit center, whenever you are creating a profit center, during that time your end date becomes infinite. But afterwards, when you say you have introduced PCTR2, okay, in this you have introduced on 01/01/2026, end date will be 31st 12 4949. So what will happen to this? This will get auto defaulted. This will get auto defaulted to the start date of this minus 1. Start date of this minus 1. So this will become to 31st 12 2025. Whichever the start date, a new thing has happened. So automatically the first one will have the end date of the next one start date minus 1. So in this way this addition concept works. Clear on this
Yeah. Okay.
addition? Okay. Now in this, when you are saying here addition type, so what happens here, it says whether are you going to use. So you have, in order to use the addition type, you have two ways, either to go by period or go by date. Mostly people go by date only, so that we can have our proper time from which date or which date we want our quarter to run. Okay. So period is something, first period, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. When you want to have an organization that concept, then you can go for period. Or if you want the date, then because when you are using a date, you can make as many profit center, cost center you want. You are not dependent on the particular period that this profit center if we're creating, then it is by default it will be of 3 months. No, if I need a profit center for a month, then also I can create a profit center if I am going for a date. So that's why here we have the option create edition type. When you go OG all, and you have the option called date specific and period specific. So always we use the date specific. I hope this is clear. Now once we go to entity type, so what will happen in finance, whenever we create any new entity, as everything comes under time dependent data, you always have to introduce your new entity inside this. If you are not introducing a new entity inside this, system will give you an error saying that this entity does not exist in edition type OG all. Okay. So whenever you are introducing, or whenever you are creating a new entity, you always have to come and add that entity inside this edition type, then only it becomes a valid one.
So is it our job to create entities?
Yes, our job for as a consultant,
Uh-huh.
our job is there to create a custom entity, also to design, to support the business and all.
Okay.
We create a custom solution, right, for the
Mhm.
client.
Mhm.
So the custom solution may be anything. You may create a custom entity also. So we'll see that also. Actually, that is also in our syllabus. We'll see how the custom entity gets created and everything.
Okay.
Now, so we go here. So this point is clear. Addition type is addition type. Coming to the next one, that is business activity. So anything that you will doing, like you are doing create scenario, process scenario, change scenario, create scenario, change scenario, or any scenario you are doing, that time what you are considering, you are that what you are saying, it's a business activity. Okay, if you are doing create scenario means, here you will not talk about uh, like create material. Suppose if you know, when you go for creation of a material, we go for mm01, right? So this is for creation of a material. If you go for mm02, it's a change of material. If you go for mm03, it's a display of material. So what is mm02 doing? It's creating a material. So that means the business activity what you are doing is create. In mm02, you are going for change of material. So what activity you are doing? Your activity during business process activity you are doing is a change process. You're getting it, the difference? So whatever action you do here, that is called as the activity, which what activity you are performing. Okay, that's why here we say as a business activities. So here we have many things. We'll see one by one. So I'm going with the account menu 4. Okay, so you also go with this. Whenever you are going, you also go with the account menu 4. In this, you'll go with the general account center. Now, whatever you see here, these are called as a logical actions. What is called? These are called as a logical actions. Okay, new, copy, mass change, block. These are all as a logical actions. So you can see here, this first point is the logical actions. When you go here, continue, you see here block, mass, everything. These are all the logical actions. Okay, so if you need anything here as a different actions, if you need apart from this you need a different actions, then you can add here. First, before adding here, you have to add here. That will become such a logical actions. So this is actions, and when you are doing here, when you say new, means you are doing activity, business activity. So that's why remember there are two things. Whatever you are doing here, this called as a logical actions. What will be doing, what you will click here and do, that is called as the activity. Okay.
Yeah.
Now again, so during that activity, suppose if I am doing, suppose I am going for a create scenario. Okay. So this is the change request. In this change request, I am saying create change request type. So as of now, when you go here, it is not asking you any change request. It's directly coming because there is only one. That's why. So now what will happen? I'll say uh, I'll copy this one and I'll say here as Z. Okay. And here I'll change this to 86. So I'll now tell you this example also. I'll change this to 86. Now what happens, why I changed to 86 is that this is a standard template which is provided by SAP. So that if I want my workflow to have one or more steps, if I want to have workflow of more than one step, then at that time I have to use every time by default 86. This is standard template provided by SAP to us. Okay, so you always have to use 86 if you are going to have more than one step, and that step is not statically in the sense you are not saying go, suppose I am in the organization, you have created a request and you want me to approve the request, only me, then you can go for 40. Otherwise, every time when you want, suppose you have created a request, you want multiple person to access this request and approve it, so that time we go for 86. So that's a difference of 40 and 86 template. So by default every time we go and use the standard template, that is 86. You remember this, irrespective of which data model you are working. If you are working in MDG, okay, if you are working in MDG for BP, finance, or any data model, you always have to use 86. Now, so this is the change request type. This is a change request type that you'll be choosing while you are creating the request. Why we are creating the change request type? So that we can design the workflow accordingly for our change request. We can design the workflow accordingly for our change request. That is the requirement to create a custom change request type. Here we say single object or parallel object. Now, what is single object? Single object means, suppose you have created one account, 1234 account, okay? And now what happens? You have come, you want to do some change in that account. And at the same time, your other colleague in the organization also came and start doing the change. Now you also have come, other people also have come to do the change. But what happens? Whoever goes first and start changing the data, they will get the access to change the details. Otherwise, for other, it will say that it is locked by me. Like suppose when I came here, even in this scenario also, you see, when I say create, what is saying? It is saying locked by this user. That means whoever has come first, only they can do the change. Otherwise, for others, they will get an error. Okay, so that's why you go. That's why this helps you, which helps you when you have in the single object. So when you are in a single object, you'll be getting only one person can do the change at a time. When you are going for parallel, okay, when you go for a parallel, what happens, you and your, suppose I also want to do the change and my other colleagues also want to do the change, so at the same time both of us can do the change. But in that case, it's not like everything you can do the change. You have to identify and say what entities or what attributes you can change, what attributes other can change, then only you can go for a parallel processing. But mostly every time we go for single object only. The scenario of having a parallel is very rare. Make sense?
Yeah, clear. But what is this first one? Object required. What does
This we don't do. This is not valid for us.
that?
Okay. So once we go here, you see the entity type. So what will happen? You see here, these are all the main entity for account. When in S4, initially what happened previously, that you have to create account, and then you have to create company code details, then you have to create cost element, all as a different solution. But now in S4, you can create account and assignment of account also, plus cost element also can be done at the same time. Okay, cost element also can be done at the same time. You have FRS, you have FRSI. These are all the same entity. And here you might have seen, like suppose if I am going here for create a material. Now let me see the save. I'll click on save on this. So you understand about the TR and all, right?
Yes.
So what's the usage of the TR?
This is basically to compile all the changes and to move from one environment to another environment. It helps.
Good, good. And so we have two types of TR. Okay, you see here customizing request. Anything related to customizing will be customizing. Anything related to the program change, this one, what to say, anything the developer will do the change, that will be a technical change. That's also workbench request. Okay,
But the portal will be same. Like both the changes will come here, or they have different. No.
different. So when you go here, suppose if I'm going to SE09, you see here there are two things:
Mm,
customizing request and a workbench request.
mm,
So how you are doing the customizing? It's asked me to do the in the customizing request. If I am doing anything workbench, like suppose if I am doing uh, I am going for the creation of request, the create, okay, and I say workbench request. So when I say workbench request, MDG changes. So see, this will be under the workbench. So anything that we'll be doing in the program level,
mm,
that will be saved inside this TR. Anything the functional consultant will do,
mm.
that will be saved under the customizing request.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Okay. So now I'll show you. Suppose I refresh this page. When I go for general account general, now I'll say new. You see, it's asking for the change request type, correct? And in this, you have this change request type. One is the standard one, what was coming, and one what you have created is coming, correct? ZACC1P2. Initially, it was not coming. Now, as soon as you have created, it is coming. How the system understands that as soon as I press a new button, it's giving me this, right? But when I click on change, it will not give me it will not give me this request. So change is like, suppose if I go here and if I click on this, I'll say edit. See, I'm not getting the request number, right, to do the change. So how the system understands that whether I have entered the create scenario or whether I have entered the change scenario. So when you go inside this, you have something called business activity. You have something called business activity. In this, ACC1 is there as the business activity, due to which system understands that if I'm going for the create scenario, so when I click on new, this will get triggered. This will get triggered, and that's why this associated to this one, this activity, whichever the change request is, that all will be displayed. Getting a point?
Uh, Trying to a little bit.
Okay. So suppose, now see what happens. I have another change request. I'll show you the another one also. As of now, you don't see for change. You don't see any request. Okay. So now what will happen? I'll create a new one. Copy, and I'm giving it Z. And this is another one. Okay. And here I'm going 86. Here also I'm going 86. And here, if you see the activity is ACC2, correct? This is a process activity. Now let me refresh this. When you click on new, what you are getting?
Yeah.
You are getting create, right?
Yes.
You are getting create.
Create a
When I'm doing here, when I'm doing here, when you click on edit, see now what is coming? Is coming for change,
Mhm.
right? So what is happening based on your activity? Based on the business activity, your system is based on the business activity. Your system is saying whether you are going for the create scenario or the change scenario. Now, how the activity knows or how the system knows that this has to be triggered. So for that, what happens? You have here something called business activity. Okay, in this business activity you link the action to it. What you link? You link the action to it. So you see here what I am linking. I'm linking the action as create. I'm linking the action as create. So when I click on create button, anything let that in during that time when action is create, this will get wherever activity ACC1 is linked to the change request type, all that will be displayed. When I'm doing the action change, during that time, whatever it is linked to ACC2, that will get displayed to me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So in this way, the linkage happens. Now, what happens as soon as you click on this, the UI appears. Like suppose if I go here and I say create. So different UI comes into the picture. The UI means the front end, okay?
Mhm.
UI means the front end. So this is called as a UI. So when I click on new and create, then you see different UI is coming. Different UI is coming. Everything different is coming, correct? So what happens? How the UI understands the which are the UI to be open. So you see here link logical actions with UI and business activity. So this is only I'm telling to you. There's nothing to be done over here. But in order to understand the linkage, how it works, how the UI, how the action, everything is integrated. So whenever you face the issue in the real time that some dumps is coming, the UI error is coming, so that you can go and see, you know the points where I have to go and check or validate. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go for this. Now link logical action with UI application and business activity. What this will happen? So you see here, what was the action for our BO type? Uh, so you'll see here business activity, and in this AC1, what's your business object type? 892. What is BO type? BO type is nothing but one number that is associated with the main entity. Means main table we say, right? The main table is this, main table is that. So with the main table, whatever you have, that is that number that were associated with your main table. That number, it can be number, it can be alphanumeric, anything. Okay, so whatever you have given to your main table, that is called as a business BO type, business object type. So now everything will be doing based on your BO type.
So Fred,
So
this BO type is in S4HANA or it's in MDG table itself?
MDG.
Oh,
This all we are doing for MDG, na?
oh yeah, but like, is it considering anywhere this S4HANA or the main data which is residing somewhere in S4HANA?
No. It's everything MDG only. So nothing, nowhere we are linking. Until now, we are linking with the this one. What to say? S4 HANA. We're not considering anything till now with S4 HANA, because everything, whatever we are doing, is just the MDG side. Okay. So now we'll have to see associated with the BO type, which link I have done or the system has given you. Suppose 892 is here. Now you see these are all 892 till here, right? What action we have saved for star. If there is star, that is create, change or something. You have copy template, you have create action, you have display, you have hierarchy, you have mass, and accordingly your UI is associated to it. Suppose if you say when you are doing the create, you should have the UI MDG, OG, OVP, FI account. Okay, and your starting is to be this one, your parent is to be this one. So let's see what you have. See, the starting is this one and your ending is this one, correct? MDGF, OVP is in, and this one FI account. So this is the one that is linked here. So in this way, based on your law, based on the BO type, you have the action also, the UI application name and the configuration name too. So you have given like the way you will be entering in the MDG and performing the action. That's why wherever you enter, you should have the UI. If you don't and give the UI, it will go for dump. Like suppose you have performed some action, and for that action no UI is defined, then what will happen? System will be looking for the UI, and it will at the end UI is not available, so they will go for a dump. Okay, so that's why for all actions, whatever the actions you are going to perform or action to be performed by the user, we have to give the UI. Make sense? Or
Yeah.
any question?
Only when you say system gives the dump, means like log error log. Huh?
Dump means okay, dump means this one you will not be seeing anything, you'll see 500 error.
Uh-huh.
UI na. So
Yeah,
during the UI nothing is there na. So what will happen? I don't have anything to do, so I'll just give one line, dump internal error.
yeah. Got it.
Okay, that is called as a dump. Rest is clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now here, so this was, you see here, link log action with UI application and business activity. Now link logical action with business activity. Link logical action with business activity. Okay, so here directly with the UI we are linking. So what is our UI? MDG OVP underscore finance, right? Ah, so this is our UI, and business activity is CC1. ACC1. Okay, anyway, so here you see this one, this is linked with action. This is the action, and this action with the UI, and this is a business activity. So we are linking the logical action with the UI. So where is that? 892 or the ACC1, right? So this is not with the business object, but with the business activity. So ours is ACC1. Okay. Ah, it's here. Sorry. This one you see here. ACC6, ACC1, ACC this. Now, so what is saying? When you have this business activity, ACC1, during that time, this UI is going to get called. So that configuration is also available here. The linkage is available. That's why you go for a change also, ACC2. That time you see the UI, and during the time of create also you see the UI. So I hope till here it's clear.
Yes.
Okay. Now when you go in this, when you say new, you see the status over here. Okay, based on this status, what happens? You will be controlling this whole everything, complete complete details you will be controlling based on this status, saying that if this status is suppose changes to be executed, you are able to edit everything, you are able to edit everything. But there are some status, when you maintain that status, user will only be able to change these details, that is the change request detail, only these details, only these details. Okay, user will not be able to change any other details. There are some status. So how to control that status? In order to control that, you have to go here, that is called edit status of change request. Edit status of change request. Once you click here, you see here changes to be executed. Here you are getting execution of changes. You are getting the access as execution of changes. You don't now, if for some status you don't want the user to change the detail, only you want the user to maintain or do the changes at the upper side. This changes, like suppose he may be approving the request, so you can give here notes or attachment why you are rejecting the request. If they want to know, suppose you have sent for the approval, right, and the approver rejects your request, so during that time you want to say that, okay, please let me know the reason why you have rejected my request. So for them, you want only these entities to be changed, not the other entities to be changed. So during that case, we use objects. We use this one, change of object list. Okay, you want the change of object list. So that time you can use the status change of object list. Means this status you can use anything. Permissions, the permissions what you are going to give is change of object list. The third one, no processing, means when everything, all the process is complete, you don't want requester to approve the request, right? Means everything has been done. So what's the use of doing any change? So during that time, you can set the status as no processing. You can set the status permission as no processing. Means when the change request is fully approved, there is no need for change for anyone. So during that time, we can go for non-processing. Make sense on this?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, okay, so this one we're clear. Now we see here something is called as the, when you go here, there's something called priority, right? You very high, high, low, medium. So from where this is coming? So you go here, define priorities for change request. Inside this, I'll say urgent, and I'll say save. So whatever you define, it's a generic, okay? It is generic in the sense it is applicable for all the change requests, not specific to a change request. This priorities is coming. It is coming for all the change requests, in all the change requests,
And
independent of whoever has created a change request. It will be appearing for all.
how you go to know like this is generic and which is not really?
So see, when you have something, see here you don't have conditions change request, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have any condition change request, that means it's a generic,
Okay.
not specific to a change request.
Okay.
If you have condition based on the, that also we'll see, because now the another will see that point also. There you'll understand. If it is only, if it is defined for a change request, then only you will be able to see. Like
Okay.
suppose for reason, okay, reason you say blank, right? Reason you say blank. So I'll cover this also, urgent and then reason. So reason is here only, down inside this only. When you go for reason, here you see the condition type of change request, right? So this is specific to your change request. Now what is your change request? Your change request is ZACC 1, okay, and reason I'm giving 01, create GL account. So now this is local, specific to your change request, because you have specified the condition type of change request. So is your question is answered, right? How now you understood what is generic and what is specific to your change request.
Yes. Yes. Got it.
Okay. So now I'll show you once I close this. Let me refresh. New. So if I select this one, then I'll show you what happens. I've selected a standard one. When I select that one, you see this urgent has come and this all has come. Priority has come, but you see, do you see reason? No, right? Now I'll close this and I'll say new this.
One thing, Prem.
Yeah.
So now you're making any change in the configuration, and they are now you can see the changes live as well. So that means you are in a MDG dev environment, or like
Dev
where
environment.
you are.
This is a dev environment. No?
So,
That's why it's asking for a TR. So whatever you are doing,
uh,
it is getting saved in a TR so that you can move these changes to the quality of production environment. There?
and then if you make a change and create a, for example, TR as well,
Mm-hmm.
now you feel, oh, you made a wrong. So you need to create a one another TR to undo that.
No, you can do the change here only, no? And you save. If you have made, suppose you say, I have created a TR and I thought, oh, this is wrong,
Uh-huh.
right? This is a wrong entries. So what I'll do, I'll change this GL account
Okay. Save.
demo.
Uh-huh.
You save this, it will get overwritten.
All right. Okay.
Now, like if you see, I don't think if I had to refresh once, but let's see. You see, it will get overwritten. So whatever you want to do, you can do. And final one, because whatever you are doing, always save in a TR. Don't save in a local object, otherwise it will become a mess.
Uh, what's the difference? How local object and this? Okay.
See, local object will not be moved. It will not allow you to move the changes to the other environment because you are saying local, no?
But when we gonna save it, always ask for TR. So is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
an
If it
option to
is,
overwrite that TR? Like don't give over.
yeah. So, like, suppose you
Uh,
have done some changes,
uh,
and during that time you save, like, suppose I'm going here, okay? Z test. You see, it is suppose if it is I'm going here. You see, I have the local object. So if I choose local object, that means it will be available here only.
okay.
I
Okay.
cannot.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay, so that's why make sure you are not saving anything for the project purpose in the local object. Otherwise, it will be a nightmare to figure it out. Chalo. So now the next point is, so you are clear on this priority, you are clear on the reason also. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I go to MDG, IMG, central governance, general settings, and then process modeling, change request. So similarly, rejection region also you want to give during rejection region. If you want to give, that is also based on a change request. Now, what happens, uh, this is from a technical point of view. If you see here that some account that user responsible, something is like hard, mandatory, right? This mandatory means this is coming as a asterisk sign. This is coming as a asterisk sign. You understand what is mandatory, right?
Yeah.
So anything that is without filling the details, you cannot proceed ahead. So that is called as a mandatory. So now if your client says, see, when I'm creating a request, some of the standard is mandatory, I want, suppose, user responsible also to be mandatory field. Okay, user
Mm,
responsible also to be mandatory. So how to achieve that? So what you can do, and here also the condition applies, that it should be mandatory only for my change request, not generic, not at the organization level.
mm,
Organization level means all for everyone. No, it is applicable only for the particular CR type. Then how you can achieve the requirement? So what you can do, you can go here, and this is the body.
Sorry, before you proceed further, so the change we are creating, so that
Mhm.
is eventually be used by the business people, right?
Correct.
So, and it will be accessed by everyone in the organization.
Yes, everyone in organization.
So, how it can be only like a particular?
Organization level means, suppose, uh, like suppose for US, I don't want the changes to have as a mandatory option for
Uh-huh.
US request. But for China request, whoever requesting from China, I want for them user responsible as a mandatory
Okay,
in that.
so the change what we are mentioning here, like when you mentioned like ZACC2 or ACC1, so
Correct.
that can I relate to as a transaction, that this transaction we will be using in China, and other transaction it could be like something else will be used in US.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, now it's clear. Now clear.
So don't say transaction because it's a change request. Okay. So here we have to, because in MDG you have to use a terminology change request
But
only, change
it's
type.
equivalent to transaction, right?
Yeah,
Logically, logically.
yeah. Logically, it's a transaction only, but
It's a
from the business, if you, because from the business,
hmm,
if you go and say transaction, so they will say transaction means anything that is required for the business. What they say, transactional data. We say, right. This what we are doing is a master data, na.
I meant by transaction is like T code, you know. So,
T code, yes. In that, in one sense, a T code only.
yeah.
Okay, so in however you want to understand, but while we are referring to the business, during
This
that time you have to use CR type only for your
oh,
understanding. You can understand your transaction the way
hmm,
how you are understanding.
got it. Clear. Thank you. Thank
Clear
you.
now. So the user says, I want to have a mandatory for this change request type. So what you can do, you have this body, and in this body you see this body, access to a customer dependent field property setting. Okay, access to the customer dependent field property setting. So once you go here, so this is ABAP. Okay, so I don't know whether you know ABAP and all, but for, as you are a technical consultant of other module, right? Programming, you know ABAP?
No, 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 not in a bad. Like it was non-SAP I have experience with in early days. So
Okay,
yeah, not a bad. But I can, relate somehow. So that's not.
take it, no problem. So here I am going to here ZMDG underscore ACC account. Okay, I'm going for account underscore body underscore IM IMP the implementation for account. So you see, it's asking for a package. So here I will give the package ZMDG. Save. Package does not exist. So what I'll do, I'll create a new package for this. Package is like a container. Okay, package is nothing but a container which holds all your details. So you'll initially in a project, this everything will be created for you. So I'll say ZMDG underscore FIN finance. Create object. MDG finance. Continue. You give the request on request. So now you see here it's asking for a workbench request. So I'll see, choose this one, and this will be getting saved. Now as soon as I save here MDG underscore finance, so as of now you see it is blank, right? There's nothing. Now as soon as I save here,
Just a moment, the screen got hang for me. I think it will be clear.
sorry.
The screen got freezed.
Okay, now it's fine.
No, still. Ah, yeah, now it's okay. It came.
That's fine, right? Okay. So now if I say finance, see, oh, wait. Again, I'll go to SET. See, now announcement has come, right? Means it's a container. Package is nothing but a container which holds all your changes so that while you're moving, you can move the container directly. MP ZCL underscore. So I'm doing the change for the properties, okay, fill properties. So I'm not going to consider any, I'm not going to copy any this one. I want to use same empty
Okay.
class.
But you are taking reference of an existing class, right?
No, I'm not taking any reference to the existing class. I'm creating an empty class.
Empty class.
Okay, if you need, you can use reference also. You have that option. So now you have here filter value. Okay, you have here filter value. So when you go for combination, so you see here you have a C request type. So now I'll give the C request type and I'll say continue. Here I'll choose the value C request type ZECC1. I can choose from here also. ECC1 P1, okay, or P2, ECC1 P2. So we have that ECC1 P2 and we'll say equal to and we'll say continue. Now you see I have the chain request type and I'll have the methods also. So in this, you even though you are not using all the methods, but the prerequisite is that you always have to activate all the methods. you have to activate all the methods. Okay, so now I'm saving. So initially, so in in as SAP world, everything you'll have to make this as a active. Okay, so you have to say save. First is save. You click on save, then you say check, and then you'll say activate. So save, check, and activate is something you always have to do, and then you have to save the data. Okay, so now during this process, as of now I have not activated everything, so I'll say only this to be activated, and I'll say continue. Now once this is activated, similarly I'll go and activate the second one. Go here, say yes, and activate. Now the third one. So now I have activated all this two. So now the last one, while activating, I can activate everything. Okay.
So basically, you are activating or creating a body and activating it so that you
Yes.
can make the changes in the UI part.
Yes. The logic, I can write the logic.
Or okay, you have to write the logic still, but it's just a package is being created as of now. Huh?
Yes. As of now, just the class has been created, and in the class, different method. The standard has provided some method. So I'm
Mhm.
just activating all that methods as of now. No
Oh,
logic is there. Only the methods is there.
all right.
It's a reuse mode, right? It's MDG works on in our SAP world, and in your world also, in non this one also, you'll be having reuse code, right? Oops,
Mm,
ABAP.
yeah. So these methods, like you already have the background about it, so that's why you could pick up these methods, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So when we go inside this modify field properties and say go inside this, here we have given the change request type. Okay. So if I'll say if uh, so you'll have to see the field available in which this one. So now let me put, so signature, if you click on the signature,
Mhm.
you'll see the logic. Okay, you'll see all the conditions,
Mhm.
whatever the conditions is this. IO model, IO request type, and C request status, and INT. So if we say here, if IV underscore entity equal to account. Okay,
Mhm.
IV underscore entity equal to account. So here it comes, you see, field property attributes changed by body. So here you'll see loop at ct underscore fld underscore property assigning field symbol lfs underscore fld underscore the pro. Okay, so now I'll show you here how we do. I just put a breakpoint.
It's
So
basically
this
you are
is,
creating a drop down list.
sorry.
I think you are creating a drop down list.
No, no, I'm not creating a drop down list. I am creating this one because all the as it is a dynamic. Okay,
Mhm.
so all the field will be called based on the entity.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me first refresh this page. So when I say new, this one create, and here I'll say OK. See, this has come here. This is the breakpoint. In this, I'll see all the fields available to me. So you see here, CD field properties. What is happening? Only account. As of now, it has not come everything. Uh, what is the entity? Account. Again, only three attributes has come. Suppose if I enter the chart of account, chart of account China. Okay, account group first. Material GL account, an account type, uh, cash account. Only three fields is coming. I have to see the another one also. Entity account, only three field is coming. Non-operating cash. Actually, I'm not getting the field. That's why I'm not able to add that logic. User responsible is which entity? General data modeling. Zero G entity, or just let me look to visualize. User, yes, where we have okay, this is under account responsible, under account only, huh?
Is it like because the reference entity type is account only three times on the rightmost field?
No, this is the account, so everything whatever we'll be getting inside this only.
Okay, so your expectation is all these fields should be coming there.
Yes, all this field should be available for you for the account.
Mhm.
Okay, like this account type and all this all has to be in the account.
But okay, because the variable you chosen like IV entity is equal to account,
Yes.
and
I
here here the column name is data model.
No, no, that is fine. That is data model is different.
Okay.
So that inside a data model, as I told you, right? Inside a data model,
Mhm.
you have respective data model, and all your entity and attributes will be inside the data model only.
Okay.
All because it's a global place for maintenance of your data.
Mhm.
Okay. So here we are not getting that. Let's see how it happens. So suppose if I'm maintaining this. Here we have CT data also. CT underscore data.
One thing,
Yeah,
maybe my screen is a little bit blurred, but IV entity is equal to or there is a hyphen only there. If you check on the code, body code,
equal na equal to.
it's equal, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that is correct. That is correct. That's why it's coming inside, na.
Okay, then I need to put my specs on.
It's small for you can maximize your screen. That is the option is there, I think. Okay, so IT data. So you see here, this is the account, right? Account entity. Okay, and here ACC response RES. So this is the field name. Control C. This is the field name. I got the point now. When you go here, when you go here, you have here. I got that. I was missing that one. So here, inside this US, you have USMD fill property. Okay, this is correct only. Inside this, assign component USMD underscore FP. Yeah, USMD underscore FP of structure LFS underscore FLD underscore prop to fill symbol FS USMD underscore FP. Full stop. If is assigned component this field name of structure underscore USMD underscore FP to fill symbol FS underscore this if underscore this is assigned, what you have to do, you have to make this LFS underscore equal to M equal to M. Now this will become mandatory. Okay, and I'll close this, undo F8. So when I go for new, this, okay. So now if you see here, this has become mandatory. Got it?
Yeah, but what about that list? Is that list coming or no?
What list? This list.
The loop that we were doing. So what changes you made? So I want to understand. Like,
Okay, okay. So here what I did in these conditions, uh, what I'm doing here is entity for account. Okay.
mhm,
And
mhm,
in this entity, this is a table. Okay, this is a table. In this table, we have one structure. That structure is USMD underscore fill property. So this structure is holding the field.
mhm,
So like inside the table we have two structures. One is the main structure and one is the substructure. So in order to write anything for the substructure, you have to first take out the substructure from this table. So that's why I took the first structure from this table, and then on this structure I have write the logic that whenever you get this field in this structure, make it as a mandatory.
mhm. Okay.
Okay, so that after doing that, it worked.
Okay.
Clear now?
Yeah, yeah. Clear, but yeah, it's something new. Very new.
Yeah, yeah. Again, you'll have to do some practice, then it will be more clear. Okay, so this was on the body side. Okay, how we implement the logic. If you have any requirement in a project to make any mandatory, so you should just as a lead or as a architect, you just should remember the body, so that you can ask your developer that this is a body, you can go and implement this. Okay, if you're not doing the coding. Now coming to the workflow side. Okay, so what?
Uh,
Yeah,
so, well, can we pause for today here? Like, I think
yeah, sure.
I need the system and do the practice till here. So,
Okay, no problem. So we'll stop here for today, and then next week we'll start with the workflow.
yeah, that would be good.
Okay
Yeah?
then. Sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Prem. Yeah? See you next week.
Thanks then. Bye. Have a good day.